Hello there, this is Edgar. On January 15th, I ran a couple of games of Blood and Steel at the Siege of Augusta convention in Georgia. Here's a quick recap from one of those games.
Alright, this is Zulu, Blood and Steel Zulu, in Siege of Augusta 2022. We have the Zulus on this side. These are Mike and Chris, and we have the British on this side. These are Josh, Mike, and Jonathan. So they're playing the British. The British drew the ambush card, so they're working on that. And the Zulus drew the forage card. So they're so far moved some of the married Zulus and Zulu rifles and a couple of units of Zulus, married and unmarried, over there on that side by the village. So far the British have moved a unit of sailors and a unit of regulars on this side over here. They're having to roll to see where they come on, which they're doing right now. He rolled a 2, so they still keep coming on this side over here. This is the beginning of turn 1. The end of turn 1. The Zulu have come all. They have this kind of really looking line of guys all the way across. The objectives are right there and there. The British, with their ambush mission, have been split up a little bit. So you've got some sailors and regulars. You got some carabiners and things. You even have the Gatling gun that was popped on ambush at the end of turn 1. And you've got 2 units of sailors. One's a tiny stuff, but all of these guys came in, including the mounted on this side over here, and put some fire on these units. That's why these guys have 1 fatigue. These guys took 2 fatigue from the Gatling gun. They lost a model in there too. Right now the Zulus have lost 2 models only. That's it. So they're far away from their attrition point. And the British haven't lost anything yet because we all are British and it's turn 1. At the very beginning of turn 2, the British got a fortune, which rolled a 5, which allowed them to move one of their opponent's units. And they chose this unit that was slightly ahead and had them move back 4 inches. So that's the result of fortune, and now they have passed for the first activation, and the Zulus have figured out what they're about to do. At the end of turn 2, the Zulu situation, they have got some units that have received a lot of fatigue. This unit, for example, is right here at the edge of the table. These green lines right here is the edge of the table. So they're right at the edge. They actually passed the resolve test to stay there and not move any further. They're got several units right there in the center and a big push right there on the right side, where there's an objective marker, and they seem to be all around it, all of them running. On that side also, the British have a couple of sailor units that basically just sat there and shot at the Zulus. They're not really moving much. Coming closer to the center, there's nothing. And then over here on this side, we have the Gatling gun being joined by the Natal native contingent. The Gatling gun has 1 fatigue. The Carabiners chose to dismount, so they're no longer, they kept 1 horse holder back there. That's what the guy is. There got some regulars, the captain's with them, another unit of regulars behind the rock putting fire with the NCO on the Zulus. They're shooting at the Zulus over there, like so. And then this unit of sailors have basically also been trying to shoot, but the sailors are not good shooters, so it's not going so well. We're in the middle of turn 3, and the Zulus have grabbed an objective. They're taking it with that unit, and they're moving it away, while the British have a couple of sailor units here. The Zulus have thrown this screen of married Zulus out in front. They have 1 fatigue, and they have these unmarried Zulus that are running. So these guys are about to get into the thick of it here pretty soon. Here we go. And now they're moving towards a second objective over there. So it's good to keep them honest because I don't know what the heck is happening, so that's good. And this is what it looks like from the other side. The Gatling gun putting all kinds of fire. They have some support from the Natal guys, and these guys come over here. holding on to that, not holding on, but threatening that objective over there. The Zulus haven't even attempted to move over there. They're keeping everything over here. Here we go, it's the end of turn 3. We have the sailors have moved up a little bit in this end over here. They're putting fire on those Zulus right over there, just like so. The cavalry moved up to the top of the hill and they try to fire. We got the Natal natives have come up closer. They're within charge range right here with the Gatling gun now behind them. The leaders way back here orchestrating everything. We have these unmarried Zulus running up towards to meet there. These guys finally moved away from the edge of the table, so they're looking a bit better. These guys are threatening that middle objective right there with the leader behind them and the rifles support within the grass. Now they don't really have much in the way of targets. Over there, we have the King's Guard coming around the left side of that side of the hut over there. This is where the objective used to be. That unit right there is the unit carrying the objective. They're just one activation away pretty much from getting it back to their table edge. We have this unit that have to fall back a little bit, and those guys are coming at it and they're gonna take it in the face right there. So that's what we got going on at the end of turn 3. Let's see how turn 4 goes. So it is the end of turn 4, and we have the British moving on the right side. That objective has done nothing. There's a fight here. Zulus and some cavalry. There's a fight here. Zulus and Natal native. Up in the hill, we've got some British regulars, leaders back here. And the Gatling gun, king of the hill over there. In the center of the battlefield, we have the Zulu rifle still in the scrub. The guardsmen have come down from that hill and they're doing something else. That unit back there has taken their supplies out, so the British have 2 attrition points. And over here we have Zulu in Induna and another unit of married Zulus. And over there, unmarried Zulus are fighting a small party of sailors. See how that goes. But before we do all of that, the Zulus have 3 attrition points, so they have to make a 1d10 resolve test with that leader. The leader's resolve is a 5. So Chris is going to roll this die, and he gets a 5. They fight on. They do not give up just yet. Zulu! Here we go. All right, we go on to turn 5. That's the end of turn 5, and the situation is pretty interesting. We've got this British taking over the hill right here, including the cavalry that's pretty well spent. They've got 4 fatigue on them. And a combat between Natal natives, Zulus, and British sailors all happening right here. The Zulus holding their own with 2 fatigue. The Natal natives have 3, and the sailors only have 1, so that's cool. On this side over here, rifles have been taking some hits, but they stay in their bush area there, nice and covered. The guard is coming over to support them. We have a unit that dropped off all their supplies and are coming back in the fight. The leader there by himself, but nothing really to shoot at him. You got right over there these married Zulus that are coming into, I don't know, raid, I guess. And then on this side over there, a combat that's not going the sailors' way. They're outnumbered big time. But more importantly, at the end of this turn, both the British have 2 attrition points, 1 because of casualties, and 2 more because the Zulus were able to take the supplies away. And the Zulus have 3 attrition points, 1 because of those casualties, and 2 more because of 2 units of theirs that got wiped out as part of the casualties. So what happens at this point is they're both gonna roll. They both have their leaders on the table, so they get to roll. They're both gonna roll resolve tests. And since the British have the initiative at this point, I'm gonna have them roll first.
Oh boy.
The British initiative is a 6, I believe. He's looking it up. Josh is playing the British commander.
One of them's got to be it. Here it is. What is he? Is he a...
He's a captain.
Captain. Resolve 6.
He's resolve is 6. So he's going to roll for a 6 to see if the British want to keep fighting. And he rolls a 4. The British say, F this, we're out of here. And then the Zulus have a result of 5. And he rolls a 4! Both forces have said, that's enough, we want no more part of this. And it's a draw. They both say goodbye. They sing to each other. Nice game, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for playing. We're gonna have a little talk here right now.
I hope you enjoyed this brief look at the game of Blood and Steel. So far, we've only shared videos from the Anglo-Zulu War, but plan to post short videos that give you a better idea of how units from other conflicts work. Make sure to check out our Facebook group and subscribe to get more information about the game.